Hello, and welcome to The Open Book. This is your host, Lakeisha. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. So, y'all, Malcolm Jamal Warner unfortunately passed away on July 20th. And at that time, many things started coming out, many inconsistent stories about how he passed away. And a lot of people were wondering, well, where is his wife? Well, we did not know too much about his wife because Malcolm was very private about his life. Now, after kind of learning more about his wife, we started thinking, like, was this Malcolm's decision to be private about her? Because he was very open about his celebrity um, relationships prior. Okay. And so I understand, keeping people out of your business. We all are like that. But y'all, we just kind of found out her name after he passed away. It was not really put out there. And so after finding out who she is, we started learning more about her, that she's an actress, played in some movies and so forth. And so I started wondering to myself, whose idea was it to remain private? Was it Malcolm's idea or was it Tanisha's idea? Now, there's an article or a blog that Tanisha actually wrote back in February of 2017. A lot of things were taking place during 2017. And so I wanted to share this article with you all, and it may give a little more insight as to why she may have wanted to remain private and out of the public. Now, here we have an article um, for a company. Now, I'm not going to really say the company's name, but this is one of the blogs that they published on their website. Notice here it says by Tanisha Hancock, February 28th, 2017. And so I'm going to kind of go through and read this for you all. It says, it never feels good to be criticized, even when the criticism is coming from a place of good intention. Instead, criticism typically feels like an enormous, unfair judgment. Oftentimes, the criticism is coming from the other person's reactivity rather than a response to our own bad behavior. Regardless of the source, experiencing it is a fact of life. Unfortunately, we cannot control what people will say to us. We can, however, control how we internalize it, respond to it, and learn from it. We can also choose when to release it and move on. For those of us suffering from anxiety, it can be particularly challenging to handle criticism because it seems to bring up our worst fears of being judged and belittled. When you are chronically anxious, you may already feel tense, excessively worried, and fearful, irritable, or challenged with racing or unwanted thoughts. These anxiety symptoms can make you more sensitive to criticism, oftentimes causing you to create conclusions of your own that may or may not be true. Now, I'm going to pause there because then later on, she just gives some tips on how to cope with criticism. But I wanted you to pay close attention to this first sentence. It never feels good to be criticized, even when the criticism is coming from a place of good intention. Okay, so my thing is, Malcolm was very well known. A lot of people knew him as Theo from The Cosby Show, and he's done many other movies and shows as well. So with her, she's not really a top celebrity or actress. With his previous relationships, those women, and this is no shade to Tanisha, but those women were more well known. They had prominent acting jobs, prior to being with Malcolm. Okay, we knew Karen from Lean on Me. Okay, she started playing on The Cosby Show too. We knew Regina from Boys in the Hood and things like that. So that part could have been just by looking at even the second paragraph where it says, for those of us suffering from anxiety, she puts herself into that category by saying us. It can be particularly challenging to handle criticism because it seems to bring up our worst fears of being judged and belittled. So maybe, with having a very public relationship in Hollywood and being put out on the front, it could potentially bring some criticism. People will start looking up, well, who is Malcolm's wife? Looking her up to see, what does she do? Who is she? And in doing that, and people have things to say, sometimes people just cannot handle the criticism. Okay? And if you already have some form of anxiety, that can make it worse. And so, allegedly, I'm not saying it was, but possibly, maybe she wanted to remain private because she didn't want to be criticized, and definitely did not want to have that anxiety come because of the people talking about her and the situation with, her and Malcolm. So I just wanted to share this with you all. Thank you all so much for watching on today. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like, share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.